Listen, I want you to stop whatever you're thinking right now and pay attention to me, because what I'm about to tell you could change your life, and I mean that. Not the way people say it when they're trying to sell you something. I mean it, the way a man means it when he's looked back on 70 years of living and knows exactly where he went wrong and exactly what he had to do to fix it. When I walked into my first gym, I was 15 years old. 15! I was skinny, I was sick, I was weak. The girls in my neighborhood used to beat me up. Can you imagine that? A boy getting beat up by girls. I was addicted to sugar, candy, ice cream, cakes I couldn't stop. My mother didn't know what to do with me. My health was falling apart. I had headaches. I had no energy. I had pimples all over my face. I was a mess. A complete and total mess. And then something happened. My mother took me to hear a man named Paul Bragg speak. A health pioneer. A genius. And that man looked out at the audience and he said something that cracked my world open. He said that it didn't matter where you started. It only mattered what you decided to do next. I walked into the gym the very next morning, and I made the biggest mistake of my life. Now here's the thing. That mistake, that one mistake, is the same mistake that almost every single person in this room has made, or will make, or is making right now. And it doesn't matter if you're 20 years old or 60. Doesn't matter if you've been going to the gym for 30 years or if you've never touched a barbell in your life. This mistake finds everybody. It sneaks up on you. It feels like the right thing to do, and it quietly destroys everything. You want to know what it was? Here it is. I walked into that gym, and I tried to do everything at once. I looked around at the guys who had been training for years, big, strong, built like machines, and I said to myself, that's what I want. That's who I'm going to be. And then I tried to become that person in 1 week. I lifted every weight. I tried every machine. I ran until I couldn't breathe. I barely ate because I thought that's what you did. I showed up every day, pushed myself past every limit I had, refused to rest, refused to slow down, refused to listen to my body when it screamed at me to stop. And you know what happened? I broke down. Completely. I got injured. I got so exhausted I could barely get out of bed. I started dreading going back to that gym. And for a little while, I'm not proud of this, but I'll tell you the truth because that's what I do. I quit. I walked away. And that feeling, that failure, it stuck with me. Now here's what I want you to hear. I didn't stay quit. I came back. I came back because something inside me refused to accept that the person I was then was the person I was always going to be. But when I came back smart. I came back with a plan. And that plan, the simple, powerful, patient plan I built for myself, is exactly what I want to share with you today. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be superhuman to get healthy. You don't need to destroy yourself in week 1. You need consistency. You need patience. You need to start where you are, not where you wish you were. So let's talk about this mistake. Let's really dig into it, because the version I made back then, it shows up in different shapes and forms for different people, but it always comes from the same place. It comes from impatience. It comes from looking at somebody else's result and wanting it right now without understanding the journey that got them there. And I get it. I understand that feeling. When you've been living in a body that doesn't feel good, when you've been tired for years, when your knees ache and your back hurts and you look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person looking back at you when all of that is true, you want a miracle. You want the result yesterday. But here's what I learned, and pay attention because this is one of the most important things I will ever say to you. Your body doesn't work on your timeline. Your body works on ITS timeline. And the moment you start respecting that, the moment you stop fighting your body and start working with it, everything changes. Everything. Now, the version of this mistake that most beginners make, it's the one I just described. Going too hard, too fast, too soon. Burning out before the habit is built. You know what I call that? That's the firework approach. Big explosion, beautiful for 30 seconds, then nothing. Darkness, silence. And you're standing there wondering why it didn't work. Let me tell you something. Fitness isn't fireworks. Fitness is a campfire. You build it slow. You feed it steady. And if you do it right, it keeps you warm for the rest of your life. But there's another version of this mistake that people don't talk about enough, and I want to address it because I see it all the time, especially now. Especially with all this information floating around, all these magazines and websites and fitness videos telling you what to do. And the mistake is this: doing too much of the wrong thing and none of the right thing. People come into the gym and they spend 2 hours on the treadmill every single day, and then they wonder why they're not getting stronger, why they're not losing weight, why they feel worse than when they started, or they lift weights with terrible form because nobody taught them properly, and 6 months later their shoulder is ruined and they blame exercise. No, exercise didn't fail you. The approach failed you. Here's what I know. After 60 years of training my body and training other people's bodies, I know this like I know my own name. Exercise is king. Nutrition is queen. Put them together and you've got a kingdom. You hear me? A kingdom. But you've got to get the fundamentals right first. You can't build a palace on a crumbling foundation. So let me give you the fundamentals. Let me give you what I wish somebody had told me when I was 15 and walking into that gym for the first time, full of fire and zero wisdom. The first thing you have to understand is why your body responds to exercise the way it does. Now, I'm not going to stand here and give you a medical lecture. I'm not a doctor. But I know this machine, your machine, better than almost anyone alive. And here's the simple truth. Your body is the most sophisticated piece of engineering ever created. It is infinitely smarter than any car, any computer, any gadget you've ever owned. And it has one brilliant survival mechanism built into it that most people fight instead of use. Your body adapts. That's it. That's the whole secret. When you put a demand on your body, when you lift something heavy or run farther than you did yesterday or swim another lap, your body says, "Oh, okay. We need to be ready for that next time." And it builds. It actually rebuilds itself overnight while you sleep to be stronger, more capable, more efficient. That's what's happening when your muscles get sore. That soreness, that ache you feel the day after a good workout, that's your body talking to you. That's your body saying, "Message received, rebuilding now. Don't worry, we'll be better." But here's where people make the mistake. They feel that soreness and they think, "I need to push through it. I need to go back tomorrow and do even more." And some of them do. And the day after that, they do even more. And they never let the rebuild happen. They just tear and tear and tear without ever allowing the recovery. You know what that is? That's the same as starting to build a house and then tearing down the walls before they've finished setting. You'll never have a house. You'll just have a pile of rubble and a very tired construction crew. Rest is not weakness. Let me say that again because I mean it. Rest is not weakness. Rest is part of the process. It is built into the design. Your body requires it. When I was younger, I fought this idea. I thought rest was for people who weren't committed enough. I thought I had to earn my results by suffering. What I learned over 60 years is that the people who last, the people who are still training at 70, at 80, who are still moving and vibrant and alive, are the people who learn to work smart, not just hard. Now let's talk about nutrition, because this is where I see people failing before they ever get to the gym. You know what most beginners do when they decide to get healthy? They do two things at the same time. They start exercising and they go on some crazy extreme diet at once. Cut out all carbs, eat nothing but boiled chicken and sadness, drink nothing but lemon water and wishful thinking. And within 2 weeks, their body is starving, their energy is gone, they're miserable, and they quit. And they tell everybody that they tried to get healthy, but their body just can't do it. No, your body can do it. Your body wants to do it. You just have to feed it properly. Here's what I've been doing for decades. Every single day, I eat 10 raw vegetables. 10. Celery, carrots, beets, cucumbers, peppers, you name it. I juice them. I eat them whole. I get them into my body every single day without fail. I eat 2 meals a day. Good, clean, real food. Protein, vegetables, some good fats. I don't count calories because I'm not eating garbage that I need to count. Real food takes care of itself. Real food gives your body what it needs to perform, to recover, to rebuild. Now, am I saying you need to be perfect from day one? No, absolutely not. What I'm saying is this. Start with one good thing, just one. Add 1 glass of water to your day. Add 1 vegetable to 1 meal. Take away 1 sugary drink, just one thing. Because here's what I know about human nature. When you change one thing and you feel better, you want to change another thing. Good habits breed good habits. The problem is when you try to change everything overnight, you overwhelm yourself, you fail, and then you use that failure as proof that you can't do it. That's the trap. Don't fall in. Let me tell you about some people I've known over the years, and I've known thousands. I've spent my whole life around people who are trying to build better bodies and better lives, and I've seen every pattern, every success, every failure. I want to tell you about a few, because I want you to see yourself in their stories. I knew a woman. She came to me when she was 52 years old. 52. She had never exercised a day in her life. She was overweight. She had bad knees. She told me right to my face, "Jack, I think I'm too far gone." Too far gone at 52. I looked at her and I said, "Baloney. You've got decades of living left, and we're going to make sure those decades are worth living." We started her with just 15 minutes of walking a day. 15 minutes and some gentle stretching, and we cleaned up her breakfast. Just breakfast, nothing else to start. 3 months later, she was walking 45 minutes a day. 6 months later, she was doing light resistance training. A year later, she told me she felt like a completely different person. She had lost over 40 pounds. Her knees felt better because her muscles were finally supporting them properly. Her doctor was amazed. She was amazed. She had never believed her body was capable of that, but it was. It always was. She just needed someone to show her the right way to begin. I knew a man, retired military, 68 years old. He'd been strong all his life, but after he retired, he fell apart. No structure, no mission, no reason to push. He came to me embarrassed. A decorated veteran, embarrassed because he'd lost his fitness. He had gained 40 pounds. He was pre-diabetic. He felt like a failure. And I said to him, "You spent decades serving your country. Now it's time to serve your body. Because your body is the vehicle for everything you still want to do in this world." He didn't make the mistake I made when I was 15. He came in with humility. He started slow, trained, smart, built progressively. And within 18 months, his doctor took him off his pre-diabetes medications entirely. His blood sugar came back to normal. He dropped the weight. He got strong again. Not military young strong, but 68-year-old who refuses to quit strong, which is its own kind of magnificent. And then there's the young people. I love the young people who come to me because they have such energy, such fire. But oh, do they make this mistake. I had a young man come to me, 24 years old, wanting to get jacked in 90 days. Those were his words, jacked in 90 days. And I said to him, "Son, you can't build a cathedral in 90 days. But in 90 days, you can lay a foundation so strong that the cathedral you build over years will stand forever." He didn't want to hear it. He wanted the shortcut. He wanted the miracle program. So he went off and did one of those extreme programs where you're training twice a day and barely sleeping and living on protein shakes and raw ambition. And guess what happened? He got injured. Badly. His rotator cuff. Came back to me 6 months later, humbled, recovered, and finally ready to listen. And you know what? We built something beautiful together. Because he was finally willing to start right. Now I want to destroy some excuses, because I know what you're thinking. Some of you are sitting there right now with your arms crossed, nodding at the stories, but in the back of your mind you're saying, "That's great, Jack, but my situation is different." And I want to look you in the eye and say, "No, it's not." I have heard every excuse human beings are capable of making, and I've heard them all for 60 years, and not one of them is good enough reason to neglect the most important asset you will ever own, your body. I'm too old. Too old. You know what? I was doing one-armed pull-ups at 70 years old. 70. I was swimming for miles in the ocean while handcuffed and shackled, towing boats in my 60s. Not because I'm superhuman, because I started young and I stayed consistent. But here's what I'll also tell you. The people who didn't start young, the people who come to exercise for the first time at 60 or 70 or even 80, their bodies still respond. Maybe not as fast, maybe not as dramatically, but the body always responds to the right input. Always. That's science. That's biology. That's the miracle of the machine you're living in. I'm too tired. Too tired. You know why you're tired? Because you're not exercising. I know that sounds like a trick, but it's the truth. Exercise creates energy. It doesn't take it. When you move your body, when you get your heart pumping, when your muscles start working the way they were designed to work, your body produces more energy, more vitality, more life force. The tired feeling that's dragging you down right now, that's not your body telling you to rest more. That's your body telling you to move more. Start moving, and within 2 weeks, I promise you, you will feel energy you forgot you had. I don't have time. Don't have time. Listen, I get up at 4 in the morning. 4! Before the sun has any idea what day it is, I am already training. And I'm not doing it because I have nothing else to do. I have a business. I have a family. I have a life. But I make time because I understand something that the busiest, most productive, most successful people in the world all understand. Your health is your time. Without your health, you have nothing. You can make more money. You can make more friends. You can build another business. But you cannot buy back your health once it's gone. You cannot go to a store and purchase another set of working knees. You cannot order a new liver on the internet. What you have is what you have, and you have to take care of it now, not someday, not when things slow down, not when the kids grow up, not when you retire. Now, it's too hard. Too hard. Of course it's hard. Everything worth doing is hard. Raising your children is hard. Building a career is hard. Keeping a marriage strong is hard. Hard is not a reason to quit. Hard is the price of admission. Hard is what makes the result worth something. When I was 15, barely able to do a push-up, barely able to run around the block, if I'd said, "This is too hard," and walked away, you wouldn't be listening to me right now. There would be no Jack Lalanne. There would be no 60 years of health and strength and vitality. There would just be one more person who gave up when things got difficult. Hard is the gateway. Walk through it. And I can't afford a gym membership. You know what? You're right. You don't need a gym. I trained in alleys. I trained in parks. I used my own body weight and I became stronger than people half my age. Push-ups, squats, walking, swimming in the ocean. Your body is your gym. It goes everywhere you go, it's always open, and the membership fee is zero. The gym is convenient. The gym has equipment that can accelerate your progress, but the gym is not mandatory. Your body is the equipment. Start with that. Now let me tell you what a proper start actually looks like. Not my full routine that took 60 years to build up to. Your start. A real, honest, sustainable beginning. In your first week, you do something. Anything. 20 minutes of walking. Every single day. That's it. You pair it with drinking more water than you drank yesterday. Half your body weight in ounces every day. And you add one good thing to your diet. One vegetable, one piece of fruit, one less soda. Just one. You do that for a week. And then you evaluate. How do you feel? What do you notice? Because I guarantee that if you do that consistently for 7 days, you will feel a difference. Your body will start talking back to you in a language called good. In your second week, you add a little resistance. Nothing crazy. Some push-ups against the wall if you're just starting. Some gentle squats, just sitting back into an imaginary chair and standing back up. Some light stretching. You keep the walking. You keep the water. You clean up one more meal, and you keep going. By week 3, you're building something. By week 4, you have a habit. Not a perfect habit, not a superhero habit, but a real, living, growing habit that is changing your body from the inside out. That's the campfire I told you about. It started now. Your job is just to keep feeding it. And here's what happens to people who do this. Not the people who train for 6 weeks and then stop. Not the fireworks, the campfire people, the ones who commit to the long game. After 3 months, people start commenting on your energy. After 6 months, your clothes fit differently. After a year, your doctor starts asking what you're doing. After 5 years, you feel younger than you did at the start. Not older, younger. Because that is what this consistent, intelligent, patient approach to fitness does. It reverses the clock. Not all the way. Nothing reverses the clock all the way. But you can absolutely feel 50 when you're 60. You can absolutely feel 60 when you're 70. I am living proof. Now, let me talk about what happens when things get hard. Because they will. I won't lie to you. There will be weeks when you don't feel like getting up. There will be injuries, minor ones, hopefully, if you're doing things right, but your body will have aches and stiffness and days where it doesn't cooperate. There will be times when life gets busy and your routine gets disrupted and you miss a few days. And the voice in your head will say, "See, you can't do this. You never could. You're too old, too tired, too busy, too broken. Just quit." That voice is a liar. Let me tell you how I handle that voice. I say, "Thank you for sharing. Now move." Because motion is the answer. When I feel low, when I feel tired, when I feel like the world is against me, I move. I walk. I swim. I lift. I get my blood flowing and my body working, and within 20 minutes, that voice is gone. Every single time. Your body has a natural antidepressant built in. It's called exercise. And you have unlimited access to it. When you get injured, and if you train long enough, something will happen at some point. You don't stop. You modify. You find what you can do, and you do that. Rest the injured part. Work everything else. Never let an injury to your knee become an excuse to stop using your arms. Never let a bad shoulder become a reason to stop walking. The rest of your body doesn't stop needing movement just because one part is healing. And plateaus. Oh, the plateaus. You'll be making progress, feeling great, and then suddenly it stops. The scale doesn't move, the weights don't go up, you feel stuck. And people panic. They either give up or they try to do something extreme to shake it loose. Here's what I've learned. A plateau just means your body has caught up to your current routine. It means you've succeeded, your body has adapted. And now it needs a new challenge. Add a little more weight, walk a little farther, try a new movement, change the order of your exercises. Give your body something new to adapt to, and it will, every time. Now, I want you to think about something. I want you to close your eyes for just a moment, not literally keep reading, but I want you to picture two versions of your life. Two paths stretching out from this exact moment. In the first path, you go home today and you do what you've always done. You think about getting healthier. You mean to start. You have good intentions. Maybe you even buy new sneakers or a gym membership. But the busyness of life takes over, and the habit never forms. And 5 years from now, you're sitting in the same chair, in the same body, maybe heavier, maybe with more aches, wondering when you'll finally get serious. 10 years from now, the gap between who you are and who you could have been has become a canyon, and the doctor is using words you don't want to hear. And the activities you love are becoming impossible. And the question you ask yourself every morning is not, what am I capable of today? But how much will this hurt today? That's one path, and nobody starts on it intentionally. People just keep choosing the easy thing today, and the easy thing today, and the easy thing today, until one day they realize all those easy choices added up to a very hard life. Here's the second path. You go home today and you do one thing. You drink an extra glass of water. You take a 20-minute walk. You do 10 push-ups against your kitchen counter. Something. Anything. One small move toward the life your body is capable of living. And tomorrow, you do it again. And the day after that. And slowly, beautifully, powerfully, the campfire builds. 3 months from now, you feel better than you have in years. A year from now, people are asking you what your secret is. 5 years from now, you're the person that other people look at and think, I want what they have. 10 years from now, you are still moving, still living, still thriving, doing things people your age have been told they can't do anymore, proving every limitation wrong, adding years of quality and joy and capability to your life. Two paths, same starting point, completely different destinations. And here's the thing, the choice between them is made not in some grand dramatic moment. It's made in the next 10 minutes. It's made in what you decide to do when you finish listening to me. That's when the choice happens. Not someday, not when the kids go back to school, not on January 1st, right now. I've been given a gift in this life. I've been given the gift of knowing what my body is capable of when I treat it right. I've been given 60 years of proof. 60 years of 4 a.m. mornings and iron and water and vegetables and pushing past the point where most people would stop. And you know what that 60 years taught me? It taught me that the only thing standing between any human being and a stronger, healthier, more vital life is the decision. The decision, made once, then recommitted to every single day. You are not your history. You are not your excuses. You are not the body you've been living in if that body hasn't been taken care of. You are your potential. You are the body you could build if you treated it with the respect it deserves. Here's what I want you to do. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Today, when you leave here, I want you to eat one piece of real food, a vegetable, a piece of fruit, something that grew out of the ground. I want you to drink 2 extra glasses of water. And I want you to move for 20 minutes. Walk, stretch, do some push-ups, swim. It doesn't matter what, just move. For 20 minutes. That's your homework. That's your first assignment. Not a 60-day transformation program, not a radical diet overhaul. 20 minutes of movement and one real food choice. That's all. Because I know that if you do it today, you will want to do it again tomorrow. And that's how the habit is born. And when you do it, I want you to remember something. I want you to remember that a 15-year-old kid who was sick and weak and beaten up by girls made a decision. And that decision, built on day after day after day of showing up, turned into 60 years of strength. It turned into a life more full, more vital, more alive than anyone who knew that skinny, sick boy could have ever imagined. If I can do it, so can you. There is no exception. There is no age too old, no body too far gone, no schedule too busy. There is just the choice, made right now, made today. Your body is a miracle. Treat it like one. Respect it, feed it, move it, challenge it, and for the rest of your life, it will serve you in ways you can barely imagine yet. Now move. Let's go. What are you waiting for?